Okay, hi everyone. Just thought we would make a quick video update because there seems to be a little bit of confusion over the access video that was released yesterday. Although access is an issue, it's not the main issue here. The video that was put on YouTube yesterday, the audio that Elizabeth did, it's just a bit of background information of what has happened here. Now, the main issue that is going on here, okay, let's just don't worry about the access at the moment. The main issue is Network Rail are claiming to own our driveway, okay? Now, they are claiming that from this. So, you've all seen this map. So, if you look on, so that road down there, that track coming in to the cattle grid, okay, so it's within this, it's within these lines here, but also the bank, the ditch, so it comes up. Now you get the white line, you see the white line here, this white line coming up here. Okay, so this white line is what Network Rail are saying is our driveway. Okay, so Network Rail are saying they own our driveway. They are saying that our driveway is out with, not in this red boundary here, yeah? Okay, so that's what Network Rail is saying. So if that was the case, that would mean that pretty much from this post here along here, this grass line up to the corner of the shed, try not to tread on the chickens, they're saying that's where our boundary line is. Okay, so down to the post. Okay, so they are saying, they're not saying that it's to do with access, they're saying that they own this driveway. Okay, so that is the main issue. Because obviously we say that they're wrong. We say that they do not own our driveway. We say that our driveway is within our registered boundary, and we know that. So that I just wanted to clear that up. So what Elizabeth put up yesterday, that's a lot of very detailed information. That is background information. It's relevant, but it's not the most important thing. Okay, so the rest of this video now, it's not going to be just all about our land dispute with Network Rail. There's going to be some additional information in this. So a couple of people have mentioned in comments, oh, just stick to the point, stick to the land dispute. So I'm just giving you a bit of a warning. There is going to be some very interesting information that we're going to share with you in this video. But it's not just all orientated around the land dispute. So I mean, I'm just letting you know, so if you do want to click off now, you can feel free to do so. If you want to carry on watching and hear a few different things we have to say, then you're welcome to do so. You know, we're just trying to be as open and transparent as possible. And we just want to try and give as much information as we can. Okay, so this is a story about Matt O'Neill, the BTP officer that you've seen quite a few times in our videos. Now, the first time we met Matt O'Neill, we'd only been here for a few months, and it was quite an unusual day actually, because this day in particular, there were two teenage boys here on the station, And I remember looking out the window and watching them, and I think it was the half 5 of the evening train was coming towards them, and they were stood down here on the edge of the platform, and they had their hand out, and the train was going exceptionally fast, and you could tell it wasn't going to stop, and the train just flew past them. And the train, we had a look on the internet, and it was shown that the train had been cancelled. So when was it, Liz? It was like, was it end of October? I think it was, wasn't it?
It was around the end of October 2021, a few months after we moved into Station House.
So it was very cold, actually. So we went out and we started having a chat with these lads, and Liz made them a drink, and we asked them if they wanted food and stuff like that. Because the next train would have been the last train that was like 9:45 at night. So we made, we kept them warm and kept them fed, and given them drinks and stuff. So what happened this evening? There was a knock on the door. There was a knock on the door at 9 o'clock at night, which is very unusual around here. And we answered the door, and it was Matt O'Neill, the British Transport Police officer. And he said that he'd come up to have a look at the station. So we just thought it's a bit unusual that he'd come up to have a look at the station, especially when it was dark and at this time at night.
And he'd driven all the way from Inverness.
Yeah, that's right. He'd driven all the way from Inverness. So we went outside and we had a chat with him. And we noticed pretty much from the get-go, off the bat, he started talking about the logging project that was due to take place here. And he told us about a man whose name was Frank MacCULLOCH. I will never forget this man's name now because of Matt O'Neill. And I would never have known any Frank MacCULLOCH if it wasn't for Matt O'Neill. Now, Frank MacCULLOCH is a very senior big man to do with the felling and all of the woods and the timber projects that are taking place here. I think what he actually does mainly is he deals with like the tracks coming in, like that one there. You see that one? That one is coming down into what they were planning to do, where they were planning to do the loading bay, right in this area here that you can see in the screen. So the plans that you would have seen online, I think it was Frank MacCULLOCH that would have been involved with doing the plans. Is that right, Liz?
That's right. He was involved in preparing all the plans and getting the paperwork done for the planning permission to be submitted to the council.
So, Matt O'Neill, while he was here that night, he spent most of the time talking about Frank MacCULLOCH. And he said how he'd had a phone conversation with Frank MacCULLOCH, and he said that Frank MacCULLOCH had asked him to come up here to see us, see what we're all about, see if we're okay with having the trees cut down and the timber extraction. So straight away we said to Matt O'Neill, when he mentioned how, he said, how would you feel about having all of the trees taken down? And we said, well, we like the trees. Even though we do use timber and stuff, we wouldn't want them all to be taken down. So Matt O'Neill then goes on to say, oh, well, it would let so much more light in. It would be so much beneficial for you. And it's obvious that he was trying to talk us into it. And we just found it so strange. And he also talked about it was done wherever he lives. He said that they cut all the trees down by him, and he said, oh, it lets so much light in. He did talk about some birds nesting, some red kites that were nesting in the trees down there. And I mean, the majority of the time that Matt O'Neill was here, he talked about the logging and the trees and Frank MacCULLOCH. But ever since then, every time Matt O'Neill has been here, which has been many times, he is always completely denied even knowing a Frank MacCulloch. Isn't that right, Liz?
Yep, that's right. When we've asked him about it and asked him why he was sent out to us that night in October 2021, he just always denies knowing anybody called Frank MacCulloch.
He said on many occasions he is denied even knowing Frank MacCulloch. So that is very strange. We find it very strange, and we believe there's some sort of connection there that is maybe a little bit sinister. So this is the area right here where they're planning on doing the loading bay. Right here, right in front of us. Trackside loading, which would involve a 400-ton train being loaded at night, which would probably be, I think I've seen it's between 11 o'clock at night and 5 o'clock in the morning. So that's something they haven't even spoken to us about yet, but I think they definitely would need to, because number one, I mean, our house is just there and our bedroom, but also number two, they're not able to do anything on this land right here. They couldn't even load a matchstick onto the train without our permission. So some of that land makes up, the surface owner of that land is Caledonia Forest. That's right, isn't it, Liz?
That's right, that's the forestry company that own most of the land here at Strathmore and out in the Breck Forest.
So there's the track again coming down into this loading area, and Caledonia Forest, CTH 5589. It only comes up, it's only like half of that yard. It's only about half. If you look on the boundary for it, it's only about half of that yard. So albeit they're the surface owner, they don't own all of that land there. Also, I'll just show you this. This is the remnants. Liz told me to show you this and reminded me about this. You can see all this reinforced concrete here. It used to be buildings and sheds and stuff like that. There's still a bit of a slab left there, but it's the previous occupier that knocked all of these down with his telescopic handler. And what you need to do is ask yourself a question. If Network Rail owned this land and owned those buildings, why didn't they do anything about that? So it's just a bit more information for you there. So I'm going to cut off for a minute, and then I'm going to carry on and show you a few other things around the land. So one of the issues we do have here also is the mixture of concrete sleepers and the old oak wooden sleepers. I mean, these concrete sleepers are so heavy, it needs a machine to move these, and all of this railway waste has been left here by the previous occupiers and Network Rail. So, I mean, it is a bit of an eyesore. I don't know, if people are going to jump down my throat and call me an environmentalist for caring about the land and, not really wanting to see all of this rubbish every time we walk out of our front door. I mean, it's all buried. Some of it's buried here. The ground's just sort of swallowing it up. It's not a massive job really. Just a day or two with a machine, and it would probably be sorted. just a bit of an eyesore, a bit of a nuisance, you know. No doubt the trolls will be calling me a full-on environmentalist now because I've mentioned them. They do seem to pick up on some pretty petty things. They're everywhere. They're everywhere here. They're scattered. That's the trouble. They're scattered and they're spread all over the land. And we are trying our best to get it tidied up here. It should be tidy. I mean, if you looked in the papers recently, the council are talking about a place to bring all of the holidaymakers, a place of notoriety. But, you know, they seem to keep failing to mention the landfill and all the tyres and all of the rubbish that's here. You know, I think it'd be more of a place for the holidaymakers and a notoriety if it was tidied up a little bit. But unfortunately, when you try and reach out to the councillors, they just ignore us. Okay, so as you can see, on the other side, there's so many wooden sleepers still scattered all across the land over there. They're everywhere. But also what I wanted to show you as well is this old railway working that's here. This old track shifting or signalling thing, whatever it is, I'm not quite sure. But it's got something, I don't know if we can zoom in on this, but it does actually say alternate brake on it. There you go, alternate brake. Quite old, looks quite heavy as well. This old key thing there or something. Certainly stood the test of time. Probably could do with a bit of oil by now though. All of the, I guess it was encapsulated in that shed, but over time it's all blown to bits. So just wanted to show that to you. Also, I should have said, I should have just mentioned and point down while I'm here, the crossing the level crossing for alternate brake is just down there. Sorry, a bit wobbly there on uneven ground here. And then the quarry is just here. So that's just a bit of a look at the land, a bit of a further look. Little bridge going over the river down there. Lovely little river. In case no one's wondering, alternate brake actually means stream with the trout, or river with the trout. Can't remember which one actually. It's either stream or river with the trout. There's certainly plenty of trout in that stream. Okay, so just to finish off this video, I know it's been jumping around a bit, but I did just want to give you a few bits of extra information. But it's really, the main point of this video is to reiterate our concerns at the moment, which our concerns are Network Rail are saying they own our driveway, and they are saying that it is the white strip on this map. Okay, they're saying that the driveway here is not in our registered title. So that's what we're going to stay concentrated on at the moment. The video before was just some background of what was going on. I know everyone's saying hearsay. Okay, fine. You know, if we didn't talk about anything, there wouldn't be anything to talk about with this. So that's what we're going to concentrate on now. Is what Network Rail are claiming. This little white strip here. Okay. We appreciate all of your support, and we hope you have a nice weekend.